We feel like safety is something that everyone is concerned about right now. Everyone is looking at the world and wondering what the heck is going on. And we want to be that resource where they can get information on how to live securely through safe living.
And you brought up something earlier that I didn't even think about. So many times when we think of new firearm owners, I automatically think of a younger demographic. But you mentioned like you guys have couples in their 60s coming to you, and it might be the very first time they've been introduced to firearms. And where do they get their information from? They're doing it to protect themselves, and like you said, the world we live in, it's completely understandable. But where do they get that safety information from? And I think that's where you guys are really filling that void and giving them, not just filling that void, but doing it in a way with very solid information, that very practical information that they can use, not just, so many times we see like you said earlier, there's information that we get, but then you usually have to buy something on the back end to make it work. Or there's a pitch coming at some point, but you guys are just out there really giving value, which is awesome. Outside of like that, do you guys see like some commonalities between your regular like audience that, even though that might be different regions of the country, different demographics, are there commonalities between them that when they're coming into your trailer?
So I think the commonality is that they all have some sense of fear. So if they're considering a firearms purchase, where there were years where when we measured the firearms sales, if they bought a firearm, what was their use for it? And recreational shooting was always almost as high as personal protection for that firearm. But that demographic has changed now, and really they're focused on personal protection, and recreational shooting is falling. And we're trying to increase that recreational shooting, because buying a gun and having it is not good if you don't go practice with it. And where you practice is through recreational shooting. And so we're really trying to push that. But I just looked, so our demographic, so this was so interesting. 30% of our guests in 2022 were between the ages of 50 and 59. And 17% of them were 60 or older. And 57% of our guests were over 40. And so we really are seeing that higher, that age where people are tired of, my personal perception. I haven't surveyed this recently to know, but my personal perception is that people are fearful in their own homes and their own communities of their own personal safety. And they are looking for ways that they can increase their comfort of feeling safe. And, they might buy a gun and increase their comfort, but if they don't go practice, if they don't learn those firearm safety rules, if they don't get some training and some education on, let's first avoid any negative situation instead of thinking that I have a gun and I can go be, John Wayne and save the day. We really are focused on that.
Well, that's awesome. And like I said at the beginning, I was talking about your guys' schedule. The one that I was interested in that you guys have coming up